Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ali Koch. I'm an angel warrior of the Midwest and a messenger of the covenant, representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Master Suleiman, who has given us the Injil, the gospel of revelations with the Injil key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. This is Up Late Update with Malik Hodge, where we take current events and give the understanding to them from the unsealed angel perspective and bring the understanding to you from a scripture standpoint to how and what is taking place throughout the world that is how is being affecting you in the world from the angel view point. Today is July 30th, 2022. And we're going to begin with our first topic. It's a lot of news out there today. Things brewing. Excuse me. Let's get started. So, with the weather, all the weather taking place, going from scorching weather to tremendous downpours of rain, floods. The AccuWeather forecast warns about potential for new flood disasters. So they're expecting this flooding, a lot of rain. So they're flooding, downpours will continue to threaten lives and property across a lengthy corridor of the United States into the start of August. AccuWeather meteorologists warn dangers will return to flood-ravaged Kentucky by the end of the weekend, following a brief reprieve from torrential downpours through Saturday. A slow-moving front is the culprit behind repeated showers and thunderstorms, which have triggered dangerous flash flooding that has claimed more than a dozen more than 25 lives in eastern Kentucky and 2 lives in St. Louis areas during the last week of July. Dozens of dramatic high water rescues became necessary in both areas as flash flood emergency ensued. Downpours will return to the zone from southern Mississippi to southern Illinois Saturday night, and then to central and southeastern Kentucky and southern West Virginia from Sunday to Monday. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Brett Anderson said several additional inches of rain on top of the wet ground will renew the flash flood risk in portions of Connecticut and excuse me. This thing gets portions of Kentucky and West Virginia from Sunday to Monday. AccuWeather forecaster urged people to stay alert to flooding dangers, monitor flood waters and warnings, and avoid low-lying areas along small streams and secondary rivers. There is a potential for swift rising water that can block escape routes on Sunday and Monday. Additional roads and bridges may become washed out and impossible and dangerous. Anderson said in areas that's steep terrain, there will also be risk of mudslides. So the weather is still causing concern. It's every day it's bringing different situations, dangerous rains, dangerous heat on one side of the country, wildfires still that are present. So right now, from Mississippi, they say from Mississippi to southern Illinois, they're expecting these torrential rainfalls. Being in the Midwest, seeing the conditions of the air conditioning and the high, very high humidity, and then to see very humid one moment and then cool draft, knowing that that's producing a lot, producing major storms. That thunderstorms and surprisingly um, due to all due to the flooding having been there's not been multiple tornadoes as well. However, um, keep that to the forefront of the mind because that's always a possibility at any time when these high pressure winds and these low pressures come together. However, they've been making tremendous slow move. This front is a slow moving front um, that is um, moving, and it's like pausing, like the clouds just stop, pause, and dump torrential rain on you, and they sit there dumping rain. So, now thinking on it, water is a force to be reckoned with. Period. Deadly force, because what the water do is just it it runs on the earth and takes the dirt and everything out. So it'll remove the dirt out of its way, snatch homes. It's so powerful that it snatch homes, buildings, dirt, and remove it all. And then it's potential to drown. So actually, the floods can potentially be um, more dangerous than a tornado. Thinking on it, because the tornado uses the wind, which is collapse and pushes and destroys things. However, that the water has can do the same thing, and if it can collapse and just take you from your base and flood the whole take the dirt itself and remove the dirt and all. So it's really something to look at how the weather is um, using going from this scorching heat, knowing the conditions of the ground is solid all over the country because it's been a drought for weeks, and 100-degree weathers that which then harden up a lot of the soil. So the soil is not in a condition to take in to allow water to soak in. It's making the water run on it, so it's more like when the rain happens, it's more like running down a rock or brick, and it's just floating with tremendous speed and force that all it takes is a little water to get moving, and it can pull it can unlodge homes, buildings, structures, cars, and that's what's taking place. And it's very dangerous because people live in basements and lower, and homes being snatched out if they don't get up from the lower areas or basements. They can get flooded and die from being drowned. So a lot of people's being drowned. Just when you think of it's the water is really Man, hey, now you think about it, water is a force to be reckoned with. So that's something to be paying attention to. Um, from the NGO perspective, it's definitely um, doing what causing severe damage and displacing and destroying lots of property, and with everything that's taking place, it's just something that you're gonna have to deal with. That's what the scripture said, that you will have to deal with this weather. You know, will bring you to your knees. Um, so we'll get back to that in our wrap up. However, let's get to our next topic. And our next topic is excuse me. President Biden tested positive for COVID again after taking what is it called? Paxlovid. That was a known risk, they are saying. President Biden began taking a Paxlovid after testing positive for COVID-19 earlier this month. After days of testing negative, he tested positive again and re-entered isolation. The antiviral medication is recommended for early treatment in the Centers of Disease Disease Control Prevention. What is it? Paxlovid, which combines two different antiviral drugs, have been found to be highly effective at reducing the risk of hospitalization and death from COVID-19. Patients with mild to moderate symptoms, it's linked to a quicker recovery and a return to good health, but in some cases, potentials report a Paxlovid rebound in which the disease returns, which is what the White House reported. So, man, I can't. This thing is clear one moment, and yes, the White House reported that it's a rebound case from the Paxlovid, an antiviral drug that he's been taking. They said he was on it last week. However, he's back in isolation again. So he said he's feeling good. He had just came out of isolation and was back into face-to-face meetings. However, he's back. He's back with the COVID. So, what does that mean? It's just when you're looking on and you see the commander-in-chief of America, he's 79 years old. He has COVID-19. He's rid of it for a couple of days and he has it again. So I don't know what that says about his system or the medicine he's taking. However, it says a lot to the rest of the world when you're looking on. I mean, you're questioning. You know he has dementia and he's, floating around looking for the Easter Bunny, whatever that is. But it definitely is alarming to, you can see that it's alarming to the American people because his age alone and him recontracting COVID-19 is definitely something that would alarm anyone, one that knows what COVID-19 and who's being affected by it and what the infection is for, the cause, and how it's taking them down. And with all his atrocities that he didn't committed against the black man and woman, there's no, and he's one of the elderly, the firstborn. So the plague is, doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, that's with that. But it's a reoccurring. So we'll see where this play out. How this plays out. He said President Biden says he only has mild symptoms. His doctor said. His personal doctor said he has mild symptoms, runny nose, and dry cough. I don't know, but he's back in solitude or whatever. Not whatever. So he's in solitude and he's back resting. So we'll see. We'll see. And I know, this is alarming because, not to me, but to America, they know that if anything happens to Joe Biden, then they have to rely on Pamela. So, man, it's something. What? Man, I can't forget his name. So I can't bring it up. However, that's that on that topic. and we'll see what takes place. We're gonna keep you we're gonna keep you um in the know of what's taking place and what's happening with um what they call him um, Pervy Joe. That's what his family call him, Pervy Joe. A joke that is um, children use. Ain't that something? So let's get to our next topic. That our next topic is yes. This is our next. Um, this is the Ukraine's Zelensky announces mandatory evacuation for Donetsk region of the Donetsk region. Kiev, is that word? Kiev. Um, Ukraine president, what's his name? Vladimir Zelensky said on Sunday his government was ordering the mandatory evacuation of the people in the eastern Donetsk region. Scene of fierce fighting with Russia. In the late night television address, Zelensky also said the hundreds of thousands of people still in combat zones in the larger Dorabin region, which was contained Donetsk as well as the neighboring Luhansk region, needed to leave. The more people leave the Donetsk region, now the fewer people the Russian army will have time to kill, he said, adding to residents which left would be given compensation. Separately, domestic Ukraine media outlets quoted Deputy Prime Minister Lerner Bass. I can't, these words, I practiced them, but I still get them wrong. Vanishchuk is saying the evacuation needed to take place before winter begins, since the region natural gas supply has been destroyed. Zelensky said hundreds and thousands of people were still living in areas of Donbass, where fighting was fierce. Many refugees to many refuse to leave, but it still needs to be done. The president said, if you have the opportunity, please talk to those who still remain in the combat area in the base, Donbass. Please contact them that it is necessary to leave. Now, it goes on. Now, the thing what I was reading this earlier, and I read, I did a little bit more reading than I just read, because in reading I'm really had to get these glasses fixed. The thing that stood out to me in that is they're trying to get people to move out of a war zone. And he's speaking about how the Russian troops are coming to this area where people are still living at. And they're going to kill the people. But what stood out to me there is they said that they're going to compensate the people to move. Maybe, or they're saying that people not moving because that they can't afford it. So they'll compensate you if you move. However, looking on, and something that in reading and looking at what's taking place in these zones and in these areas, they said that Russia knocked out in that area that they already took out the gas line. But Russia has not been taking out gas lines. They have not been taking out the electric. He's making this claim, and it sounds fishy. That they're offering people money to move out of this area, and then you look at it, the people that are blowing up things, are bombing pipelines and electric facilities, or electric boxes, is the Ukrainians. So with just looking at, and just you can't be nothing but it's easy, especially when you know what's taking place. But when you're able to read and see, you can see that you start adding up things like, man, is this taking place? This taking place? However, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. However, it has with the Russian stoppage to this this Jewish um, um, what is this Jewish um, relocation uh, re relocation program. No, Russia has stopped that, and because of how many the number of people that they're trying to get and say that they can relocate and move around. So in that, just looking at that and seeing that, yes, they're offering people that will compensate you if you come out of there. We'll do this, but you need to come out of there because of this. If you start really thinking this, who's going to come through there? Russia's going to kill you all. But if that was the case, wouldn't they already be dead? So it's just something to think on, because of you have to do your own reading and looking at it. But this is what's taking place over in. It's just something that I seen and I wanted to speak on. Just taking place over there in Ukraine, and from the Indian perspective, it's working hand in hand with setting up the backfire that is going to take place in a short length of time when America is when everything backfires on them that they're doing in Germany and in Europe. So that's all going to backfire on them. So we're going to move on to our next topic, and I'll bring everything to and I'll wrap up, speak on it all, and I'll wrap it all up. Now, this next topic is a topic that I've been waiting to see and hear something from. I've been waiting to see and hear something about this topic, and today they came out, and let's get into it. A potential agreeable Iran nuclear deal now on the table and awaiting signatures. The EU chief diplomat pushes new draft of JCPOA nuclear deal, Joseph Borrell said. It's been 15 months of negotiations, and this deal is the best as I, as a negotiator, see as feasible, and this unique opportunity must be seized. As no effective alternative can be reached. All sides would be making major compromises he also shared, Joseph Barrow also shared that all sanctions would be lifted. They didn't say would the Iranian military be taking off the what is it? The list of terrorist groups. However, they also said that they didn't know what if. He's also said that he don't know if the P1+5 or P5+1 would be willing to go for the agreement, and he don't know if America would go for it. However, Iran and all the sides have their paperwork. So he said that, hey, if this doesn't work, then if they don't sign it, then he's as being the negotiator. This is the best deal that he can come up with, and if this deal don't be signed, then basically ain't nothing we can do about it. Ain't nothing can be done about it. So that's the end game of it, pretty much. So then you have to wait on responses from the different countries that's involved, because they didn't give any intel or any knowledge of how anyone responds. Only person that came out in response and they had immediately response from was Iran, and Nasi Kanani, a spokesperson, Iran Affairs Minister. The nuclear talk disaster from combinations into on agreement hinges as or hinges on the hangs on the U.S. political decision. Iran is indeed considering an agreement and hopes it will come to terms soon. However, Iran will not act emotionally and impulsively, and will consider the fundamental interests of the country. So, Barrows, Joseph Barrows, still um, said he's still left um, not knowing or what's going to take place. However, it's the best it's the best deal that he can present at this time. And if this is not a deal, if this deal doesn't get signed, then they definitely have to go into the next steps, because he can't. There's nothing else he can think of. I mean, basically, that's what he was saying. There's nothing more to he can negotiate as being a negotiator that he can find. This is the best deal that he can put together. So, it's something that definitely been something to wait on to see. What's no one's been speaking on the JCPOA. False Israel has been quiet and not saying too much on Iran or about the JCPOA, and they never have made mention of the things that have transpired with their agents being found in Iran trying to sabotage and blow up its nuclear sensitive area. And they haven't came out and made any response to anything. So this is something that I've been looking forward to hearing about, and we'll see. We'll see in days, because they're still very optimistic that anything will happen, or that both sides. John Barrow said he was optimistic anyway, because on both sides, because he don't know if the P1 plus 5 or P5 plus 1 would agree to the things that he put in there, that they had to compromise or make that he put in there. And he don't know if America and if it's something with the America and the Americans government, the things that's in there that they can make give a yes or no to, without putting it through it going through multiple people and different channels to even get a yes to sign anything. But however, from an angel perspective, this must be it. This is the last chance. This is the last write up, the last this is it. From the mouth of the one doing the this is what his mouth is saying. This is the best thing that he can. This was the best agreement that he can put together. This is, I mean, he's saying that this is it. I can't do any better than this. Now, if y'all don't settle, or I'm waiting, if y'all don't put the signatures on this, then you might as well get into doing what you gonna do, because I can't find a better I can't put together a better agreement than I have for what I'm in front of you for the situation. So it's definitely something that I've been anticipating, and it's been put out there. And from an angel perspective, we already know what's going to be the answer. They're not going to accept this JCPOA. And if you really listen, no one is, they're telling you can put all these things out. You can make it sound good. Now, this is what my take into listening, because you had to listen to some more, and a lot of writing with all that listening to what they're speaking on. They're saying that, I mean, we're not going to, we're not going to get or act emotionally. We're not going to get emotional about this and impulsive, and will consider the fundamental interests of the country. He also said it's up to the it's really in the ball court of America's government. And we don't, Iran speaking, and I'm speaking myself, we don't trust the government over there. You can say anything to get us to agree to something or sign something. But if a new government, anything comes in, that's what they're saying, that you can't that's definitely, one of the things that stands out when they talking about. He said, you can't ensure nothing the way your government is set up. So why would we make a deal with a government based, that can't ensure that nothing will be the same in the next 4 years or in the next state. So why would we try to make get something written up that y'all can change like Trump just did us? I mean, it just makes sense what they're saying and what they're looking at and how they're going to respond. No one is, when you looking on and you really get a chance to listen to the other things that they're sharing, that you like, hey, they looking like, hey man, don't try to play us out. Don't think we are quickly making this quick and y'all making it sound like you really handing us something. We really we gonna do this, and if no, we not gonna get emotional with this and get the moving fast and no, that's not what's gonna happen. But that's what they thinking. And yeah, it's somebody where just put something in your face, make it sound good and look good, but that ain't what's gonna happen in the end. And they know that, and they letting it know that, hey, from an angel's perspective, we know where we gonna end up, because they're not gonna fall for the okie doke as well. And it's it's too easy to see it. That, you make it sound real good. You know you can't hold it up, and it would be a good deal, or we might have thought about it. But knowing the truth, we're not giving up our. They're not gonna give up everything that many men. That's many of their people have gotten killed, assassinated to get where they are now and to achieve what they have done. And they've been attacked. They've been trying to be sabotaged. I mean, it's a whole lot of things taking place that, like with all this here, we just gonna give up and give y'all this. It's not gonna happen. But it is something that been waiting on. I've been waiting on it, and I've been waiting to hear something so I can inform everyone on what's taking place with the JCPOA. I know what I see. I know what it's showing me from the angel perspective, but this is something I needed to hear it from what's taking place, or what they're doing, what America and what they're doing in the world with the JCPOA. So now we know this is the pretty much the final draft that the that the negotiator has written up, and he said he couldn't do it any better. He did the best he can do. So if it's ready for signatures, and if they don't sign it, then we know, and we already know from the perspective of the angel, will be at the abomination of desolation, the war in the Middle East, with Michael and his angels and the dragon and his angels. So be on the lookout. We'll know in days, and I'll keep you well informed of what's taking place with that JCPOA. So no, JCPOA is the spark that is going to spark the war in the Middle East. They're not going to agree. They're not going to fold and go back up under the foot of the nations. So we will be seeing Michael and his angels, Master Fard Muhammad, Iran and Syria. They will be attacking the House of Saudi Arabia, the dragon and his angels. The dragon is the House of Saud. His angels is false, is Britain and America. And false Israel, along with the 6 other Sunni countries that have aligned with false Israel up under the agreement of the Abraham Accords. So their common interest is the true seed of Abraham and the Republic of Iran. So with that, that's what they're all in cahoots to stop, and thinking that they're one is sitting on the land, one is using our name, and the others are just putting themselves in line with the devils, with Satan, and they're all going to be taken out. So the abomination of desolation is when the war begins, and Britain and America is kicked out the Middle East. The House of Saud is taken out. False Israel was seized and then annihilated. And that will be the shock of the hour when the whole world knows that the black man and woman of America is the true seed of Abraham. And that will be the shock of the hour. And that is when we immediately will be attacked, and we will be that. The next thing we'll be going into the War of Armageddon. And with that, I'm gonna bring this segment to a close. Before I do, let me run back through everything. The weather, we see it's still it's still hitting them, still hot in the west, still having hot wildfires, wildfires throughout the Midwest. It's been a lot of torrential rain, thunderstorms. Looking and being in the Midwest, just calling because we know what is causing these this harsh weather. Looking at possible, because the way it's been feeling in the last day is this high pressure and high humidity is and these low streamers could cause up these rains and possible tornadoes. So be on the lookout. They're expecting another pass through the Midwest, through Mississippi, all the way up to Illinois, southern Illinois, and in between that, major flooding, major floods, major downpours, thunderstorms. So, and they're expecting more, where the floods have already killed 25 people or more in parts of Kentucky. So, keep your eye on the weather. You see how the weather is affecting and keeping pressure on the country, on the infrastructure. Joe Biden is back in quarantine mode. He's got the plague again. He's one of the firstborn of Egypt. So you gotta just keep an eye on him, because they don't know what's gonna happen, but they're concerned. You can believe that, and it's concern all over the planet, all in different, because there's no way America's president, they chief, is it's just a sign of weakness. Just a sign of weakness that they have to deal with. And what? Also the key Russia and Ukraine war that falls up under rumors of wars and rumors of wars. It's definitely it's still, they're still going through their differences, and you can still see how everything is being put into position, and how the angel and the unsealed scriptures give you what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, and you can, and once you see in that from the angel perspective, when you see in what's happening in actually happening in the real world and how it's prepping it and sitting in, and these things are going right into position uh, um to make the scriptures of what's being shared or the atom bombs that are being spoken. These things is being put into motion to where it is going to, you're going to be able to see it's going to happen exactly as the unsealed scriptures or the angel shared that it's going to happen, and you can see it all unfolding exactly like it said, and all the pieces of the puzzles, like this is coming together. You can see this and you can see this all, and like when you putting a puzzle together, you got all these lights, colors, and all these things. You can put this piece and you can see this piece and you can see this over here that you can put different scenes, but once you push them all together, you can see the whole thing so clear, and that's what's taking place. So it's all lining up. Let me make sure let's see. So we'll I'm gonna see and know what's taking place and what's gonna be said. So I definitely gonna be coming back tomorrow, same time, and give you an update and see the earliest possible when they start speaking about the players of the JCPOA and what they had to say about the proposal or the write-up from Joseph Barrow. So can't wait to see the response that's given. So we'll see. Keeping that to the forefront. That's the spark to the abomination of desolation, and keep your eye on that. We're gonna keep our eye on that. So with that, I'm gonna bring this segment of late update with Malik Hodge to a close, and thank you for watching. And I'm gonna greet you in the greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.